It's time for another edition of Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Matilda Mossman. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Coach's Corner with head coach Matilda Mossman. I'm Bruce Howard, and Coach, first of all, thanks for inviting us into your team room. I know you're really proud of it, and it is state-of-the-art, isn't it?
Well, it is, and thanks to the donations of some of our very close donors, we were able to expand our locker room, if you will, and now we have an area to watch film, we have an area for food preparation, and then we have a separate area for changing clothes and that kind of thing. And
obviously we have the great backdrop and a great beginning for your team in the American Athletic Conference, a 2-0 start. What about the two close wins you had?
Well, we had East Carolina coming in last week, and a real athletic team. They were picked, I think, 4th in the preseason. Jada Payne and Itiana Taylor are two of the best players in our league, and we were able to send that game into overtime and ultimately win in overtime. And then we come back 3 days later with a much improved SMU team, a lineup that started 6'5", 6'3", 6'2", and we were able to, Erica Wakefield hit a shot with 19 seconds to give us the first lead of the fourth quarter, and we were able to hang on and win the game.
Speaking of Erica, she had a terrific week for you. The first game that you mentioned, 24 points in that game, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. I mean, she must have been just outstanding.
Yeah, it seems like 10's a big number for her in the last two games. She had the game where she had 10 points, 10 assists, and then she had the game with 24 points, but 10 for 10 free throws. And her play this entire year has been really, really good. And even the games that she's not scoring, she's facilitating. And it's kind of like if she's facilitating and whoever can score, but if they're not, she takes it upon herself to go score, and she's done a great job.
And certainly, as you mentioned, with East Carolina, a very athletic team, it seems though, you know, and again, your team is guard-oriented, but you matched their athleticism, didn't you? Yeah,
we did. I mean, it's against a team like that, it's really key to get back in defensive transition and not give up anything easy. And I mentioned Jada Payne is just a tremendous athlete, and she's got that ability just to go get in the paint and just jump up over people, and it didn't matter if we had a 5'8" girl guarding her or a 6'1" girl guarding her, Jada's able to get up. And so Jada had a really, really good game, but we were able to kind of silence some of the other people around her.
Yeah, and you mentioned Itiana Taylor, 14 points, 14 rebounds for them, and they did beat you up on the boards a little bit. The other side of that was you forced 17 turnovers, you had 11 steals, so those are defensive stops without the benefit of a rebound. So you're able to kind of counterbalance that a little, huh?
Yeah, and you mentioned Taylor. I mean, she's averaging a double-double, and Jada Payne's averaging a double-double. So when you have two players like that on the same team, and either one of them can have a big game, and typically most of them, both of them have a big game at the same time. So I was just really pleased with the way our kids fought and the way our kids played together. You know, 2 games in a row where we really played together well, played team defense. Offensively, we executed well, we made the extra pass, we attacked and kicked, and all those things that you want to see an offensive team do.
Now, you're only down by 2 at halftime against SMU, but they seem to always have that little lead through the whole thing. It was a close game all the way, wasn't it?
It was. We led a lot in the first half, and we led some in the third quarter, but they kind of got the lead late in the third quarter and then basically carried that through the fourth quarter. And you know, there were some times that we went down and we missed shots, and then they made shots, and I think their lead grew to 5. And with about 2.5 minutes to play, I think it was still a 5-point game. But then all of a sudden, Liesl Spurl just took over the game. She had 11 points in 11 minutes. We put her back in with 6:50 to play in the quarter, and she just attacked the basket, got layups. She had one really good basket in transition. Had it not been for Liesl and what she did in that last 6 minutes, I don't think we would have won that game.
Well, and she went 5 for 5 from the field, and you always preach this, you know, the ability to finish with your big players. You know, they've got to finish around the rim, and she did that, didn't she?
She did, and she's attacking a 6'3" girl, and there's a 6'5" girl waiting. So I think that was part of our problem that night, and our kids attacking. Stephanie Collins, going into our game, had like 29 block shots on the year in just 11 games. So, you know, she's always sitting back there waiting, and if she doesn't block the shot, she alters the shot. So for Liesl to be able to beat her first defender and then get around Stephanie Collins as the second defender was huge.
And you had mentioned this, SMU, big team, big front wall, and you only lose the rebounding battle by 2. Ashley Clark, I know, had 10 rebounds, so I mean, pretty good job battling on the boards then, huh?
We did. Yeah, you know, those big guys, we felt like they came over our backs a lot, but I thought our kids were really focused on the block out and having good position. And you know, a team like SMU, they're not giving up very many points. I think they were giving up 61 points a game, and of course the game is in the 50s, and so I think for a game to be in the 50s like that, I think we were fortunate to win.
Well, you're 2-0. What's been the biggest key? Obviously a couple of home games, which is important, try to hold serve at home, but what were some of the keys to winning at the end of ball games now, when earlier in the year in some of your non-league you were not winning at the end?
Well, I think a lot of it's just our composure, and that starts with Erica Wakefield. She's just so cool, calm, collected. She doesn't get in a hurry. You know, the one game against ECU, she played 44 minutes. She played every minute plus the overtime except one. And in that 44 minutes, she only had 1 turnover. So when you have a point guard who's taking care of the ball, facilitating your offense, scoring when she needs to score, it just gives everybody confidence at the end of the game. And you know, even when she hit that shot with 19 seconds, that game wasn't. The game was in jeopardy until she hit that shot, and then we still had to hold on and survive. We had to make a couple of stops at the end to survive that.
So the Hurricane now at 5-8 overall, but the important thing is 2-0 in the American Athletic Conference. And when we return on Coach's Corner, I'm going to ask Coach who she hacked off in the American Athletic Conference office to give a brutal schedule this week. 3 away games for Tulsa coming up. We'll have that after this timeout.
Our core values form the foundation of the American.
Competitiveness,
passion, character.
They show our true colors on and off the court.
Respect,
accountability, chasing greatness.
They lead us.
Discipline,
focus,
trust.
They are the essence of our identity.
Family, tradition.
We are the American Athletic Conference.
We're back on Coach's Corner, and you will have to be Road Warriors, Coach. And we jokingly said, who'd you hack off in the office? But boy, what a schedule this week. At UConn coming up on Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then Saturday on the road as well.
Yeah, we jokingly have said that the Grinch who stole Christmas definitely lives in New Jersey in the American Conference office. You know, we don't get to put together the conference schedule. It is what it is. Fortunately, it happens at a time when school's not in session, so we're not missing classes, but it's 3 games in 3 cities in 5 days, and so every travel day is a prep day. So it's play, prep, travel, play, and then finally come home. So it's going to be tough. It doesn't help that we start off with the #1 team in the country. You know, we're going to have to monitor our minutes for our kids, especially in that game. And then we're going to play Temple in the second game, and it's going to be like a track meet. Those guys are so athletic, and they have everybody returning from last year's team. And then we get to go on the road and play Memphis, and Memphis just beat Tulane yesterday, or on Sunday. And Tulane was picked in the top 5, and Memphis was picked below them. So 3 games, 3 tough games, all on the road. Not a lot of prep time in between. I think that's the hardest part, is that the prep time and the recovery time for your kids. I mean, they're still, even though they're student athletes, we're still talking about human bodies that when you go play a 40-minute basketball game, you need to have some recovery time. And it's hard to recover when you're on a bus or you're on a plane or you're sitting in an airport, but it is what it is. So we're going to go play the games and see what happens.
Yeah, I think I mentioned Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's actually Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, but it's still, 3 games in 5 days for your team, and it starts with the #1 team, UConn. And to me, and I'm sure to you, it's always a measuring stick, a yardage stick, isn't it, for you?
It is, and the good thing is you're going to go play UConn in one of their home arenas, and there'll be 10,000 people there, and I think that's a great atmosphere for our players. They want to play the good teams. They want to play in a venue where the crowd's there and is excited, because we feed off their energy. We feed off, even though the crowd is cheering UConn, we're still feeding off that energy that's in the venue. So there's nothing wrong with going on the road and playing a #1 team in the country. It gives us visibility, gives us exposure, and then we're going to go to Philadelphia, and for these guys, probably most of our team has not been to Philly before. So we're going to go see the Rocky Balboa statue. You know, we're going to go see the Liberty Bell. We're going to do some things on the trip that are part of the student athlete experience, because it's more than just the games. It's about the travel and about doing things at the sites that you would normally get to do.
Well, it starts on Tuesday. You get on the road on Tuesday. Don't come home until Sunday. Have a good trip. Make sure you got your toothbrush packed, okay?
And deodorant and all that good stuff, yeah.
So the road trip for the Hurricane coming up, but don't forget next week TU will be back home at the Reynolds Center. That wraps it up for Coach's Corner. For head coach Matilda Mossman, I'm Bruce Howard. So long for now.